Are you tight or sitting yet, waiting for something to happen? Yeah. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate that you would choose to spend some time here with our dedication. Thank you for helping us dedicate this memorial to all those who have served and whose final resting place is here at East Immanuel. I'd like to recognize Assemblyman Duke Tucker and Senator Quinn's representative Stacy Hessel for being here with us today, and they'll have an opportunity to address you in a few minutes. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Dave Porter and his honor guard to continue with the festivities.
Thank you, Eric. Good afternoon and welcome to the East Immanuel Veterans Memorial and Flag Dedication Program. I am Dave Porter, Commander of the Veterans of Foreign Wars, Post 7929 here in Amery. Our Veterans Honor Guard are both honored and humbled to be able to participate in this monumental event. I'd like to commend everyone who had a role in this Veterans Memorial vision and bringing it to a reality. It speaks volumes for that a small community church can come to rally together, raise money, the necessary funds, and construct such a beautiful, sacred, and hallowed place that will be here for generations to come and pay their respects for those that gave their all. At this time, we will raise all three flags, and after that, we'll have the national anthem presented by Oliver on the trumpet. Keith, will you please help me raise the flags?
Am I in the way?
We will now hear the national anthem. Honor guard, freeze and on! Thank you, Oliver. The American flag features red, white, and blue. Red symbolizes the valor, courage, and sacrifices of those who fought for freedom. White represents purity, hope, and innocence. Blue represents more than justice. It also stands for perseverance and vigilance. Our country has faced many challenges, from wars to civil unrest, and blue serves as a reminder of the nation's determination to protect its freedoms and values. Throughout history, the American people have shown resilience in the face of adversity. The blue in the flag reflects the spirit, symbolizing the strength needed to defend the country's ideals. This perseverance continues today, with blue remaining a powerful representation of the country's resolve. At this time, I'd like to have a moment of silence to honor and remember those who have fought and those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms which we enjoy today. Let us never take for granted the sacrifices that we have been made. Freedom is never free. As the American flag flies proudly here today and forevermore, may it be a constant reminder of America's founding ideals of liberty, which is the foundation of our freedom; justice, which is our pursuit of a more perfect union; and self-governance, which puts the power to the people. These principles continue to resonate today because they are timeless ideals. While American history is far from perfect, the strength of our nation lies in its ability to strive towards these ideals, even in the face of adversity. This bright new American flag is a display of our resilience as a free nation.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you to our honor guard, and I just want to say, looks right. So at this point, we'll have a few words from our special guests, and I would like to introduce Assemblyman Duke Tucker.
Well, as mentioned, I'm your state assembly rep, Duke Tucker. I live up north of Grantsburg. And I'll tell you, I'm so proud to serve you all down in Madison, but I'm going to also tell you that I never wore a suit until I got into the world of politics. I'm much more comfortable riding a tractor or being on the end of a chainsaw. But the bottom line is, without my service, I probably would have never been as good of a husband as I think I might be. You could ask my wife, or a father, or a community servant without my service. And I'll tell you, it's a real honor to be invited here today, because Memorial Day is so much more than a day, and we all know that. And a lot of times you go to Memorial Day speeches and you'll hear the same thing, that people don't honor enough. And we're preaching to the people that are here. You already know that. But I'll tell you, as a kid, a lot of times your favorite day of the year is maybe your birthday or Christmas, because of the presents that you receive. And I can tell you that every year that goes by, I think I'm more patriotic than I was the year before. Even as a teenager going in the military or serving in Desert Shield, Desert Storm, I think as time goes by, I gather more and more appreciation for our veterans, and especially our fallen ones. And we come to realize that Memorial Day is the most special day we have to celebrate. Because without Memorial Day and those sacrifices made by our fallen, we wouldn't have any other special days. You wouldn't be free to worship, celebrate your birthdays, all of those things. So that's really what my message is today, is just honoring our fallen that way. Now, am I saying it's wrong to have barbecues and go out and have fun with family? No, absolutely not. I think really our fallen, the best way to remember them is to have fun with our families while recognizing their sacrifices. They want you to have fun. They want you to have families and lots of kids and raise them the way that you see fit. And Memorial Day is a way for us, it's a time for us to do that. Remember them while appreciating our freedoms and the sacrifices for our freedoms. The cost of achieving our freedom and maintaining that freedom is huge. I'm one of the lucky ones that made it home. And when I think about my own life, I'm really blessed, very fortunate to be able to serve the way that I do. And I just really appreciate you guys' sacrifice too by creating this memorial. And to be here with my brothers from the VFW and American Legion is really great. So thank you all so much for being here. And again, it's such an honor to be with you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Duke. And next we will hear from Stacy Hessel, who is the District Director for Senator Quinn, who was unable to be here today, but we get Stacy.
I'm just happy if I can see over the podium here. All right, thank you for the invite on behalf of Senator Quinn. He has a military family, and so he knows the importance of today. And we're able to fight down at the state capitol because of those that fought for us. I'll just read a quote quick. Memorial Day was never meant to be a long weekend. It is the sound of freedom echoing from lives that never made it home. It is remembering that somebody else's sacrifice became our ordinary moment. So enjoy your ordinary moments because of the special moments that our military gave us. Thank you.
Thank you, Stacy. So now you're stuck with me. Everybody else has had their piece to say. Again, thank you for being here. You could do a lot of different things today, especially since it's dry and not... It felt more like we were waiting for snow to happen, but thank you for being here to help us dedicate this space to those who served. This past week here has been a bit of a scramble for us as we're pulling together the last few details that just didn't come together until right at the end. We were working out here every day this week. We put the electrical and the lights in one morning, and we put the rest of the stones in the afternoon, and that evening the landscaper finished putting the sand down to lock it in. So we've been scrambling a little bit. Of course, we have a few mistakes that we're going to have to fix, and you know, when they say it's not carved in stone, unfortunately here it is. So we're going to have to deal with that. But we know that we can have them pulled out. We have a good relationship with the company that took care of us, and We'll have to fix a couple, we'll have to add a couple, and we know that more will be added as we continue to identify veterans that are buried in this cemetery. We also have plans to put some benches on the outer parts so that people can have a time to sit if someone wants to do a funeral, like a committal or something here, and we're also going to put in some signage for some history and information about the space and the people and the congregation that decided that this was a good idea. But so far, where we're at, it's something that we're very proud of, and we're very happy to share it with you today. I'd like to give you a little history about this place in general, this hill. The cemetery was established in about 1867 or 68, before the congregation. The congregation itself started in 1870 on the 14th of February. It was started by a group of Norwegian families, and those Norwegians successfully located the highest hill around with the most rocks and clay they could find, which we're eternally thankful for every time we put a shovel in the ground. The building behind me was built in 1885, so there's a lot of history on this hill. But there's also changes and growth. We've added on to the church several different times. You see behind me the chapel worship and outdoor space that we have. It's used for a lot of different things, not just picnics, but we do an outdoor service once a month. There's to the west of that is Labyrinth and Prayer Garden that is beautifully maintained, and when we're done here you really need to go look at it and enjoy that too. And now this memorial. The idea for this started a while back. I'm not sure how it works in churches or organizations where you are, but we first brought up the idea and then talked about it for more than 20 years before we had any idea that we would move forward. It was a good idea, and we finally decided as a cemetery association it was time to bring it forward. And so we brought the idea to our congregation. We had the funding, we had a general idea, we had a layout, and a design was adopted, a landscaper hired, and here we are. Things like that tend to have a momentum of their own once things get started. Looking behind me, you see a lot of flags out in this cemetery. We picked this location because this is a favorite view, looking up at the church, through the cemetery, and all of those flags. We decided to take advantage of that and chose this spot for our memorial. Seeing all those flags around the cemetery is the reason that we decided it was time to do this memorial. We needed to honor those who served and are buried here. There's a lot of history in the cemetery, as in all cemeteries, but the history we look at today is that of the flags that you see in the cemetery. We know there are more than 78 veterans buried here. That number is going to go up as we find more names and connect them with records for the Veterans Association. Those flags represent Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard. There's some of those flags out there that are by a grave of someone who served in World War I and World War II, and also someone who served in World War II and Korea. So we are proud to honor those who served our country, and today we dedicate this memorial to them all. The stones around the perimeter of our space here are engraved with the names of those buried here. We know, like I said, there are a couple mistakes. That's fixable, and we can make that change, and we will make that change. If you find mistakes that we haven't found yet, please let us know. We have the means to make the changes and make it right. If you think that there's one that's missing, a lot of times we just don't have all of the history we need to identify all of these people that should be recognized. We continue to look, and we are always surprised when we find one that we missed, but so what? We'll take care of it. There are a few of the veterans that we recognize here that deserve a special note. We put those stones in the front, right here. And that would be Christopher Emerson from the Civil War, August Hansen, Civil War, Hans Nielsen, Civil War, Johann Hugdahl, Spanish-American War, Manville Martinson, World War II, KIA, and Margaret Hugdahl, World War II. And at this time, she's the only woman veteran that we have recognized, but we know there's one more. At this time, I want to thank Duke Tucker and Stacy Hessel for joining us. Thank you. We want to recognize the Honor Guard for helping us do this the right way. We could have raised the flags this spring, but we knew that we needed to have something special to make it even better than it is. This church has a history of having a Memorial Day dinner for as long as probably anybody here can remember. It's a special event, and Memorial Day is a special time for this congregation. So it felt right to have the Honor Guard here and do our first flag raising. For that, we thank you. We also would like to recognize and thank Ross Smith, our World War II veteran, for attending. Ross, thank you. And Ross has assured me that in 5 months he'll turn 100. So. We thank Nicole Schmid from the Veterans Affairs Office, Polk County, for being here. And we also have Danita Emerson Umland, who is third great-granddaughter of Christopher Emerson, one of our Civil War veterans. At this time, I'd like to ask my fellow cemetery board members to please step forward. I'm not going to take the blame for this alone. It's important that you understand how this came about. We talked about it among ourselves enough and decided it's time. So this is Bob Johnson, Jim Ivey. We work together pretty well. We might have different ideas, but eventually we get the things done. If you're out here, you see Bob taking care of different parts of the cemetery. If you read the information, Jim's the guy who's taking care of a lot of the history and the database, and I'm the one who got elected to talk. So, also, any questions or comments? Like I said, we have talked to these guys, not us. Do you have anything you want to say? They're not going to speak, so that's fine. So thank you. I appreciate that we have these guys to help us. A few other special thank yous. A thank you to our landscaper, Justin Stahlheim, Clyde Alley. He worked with us not just to come up with this, but he helped us design it, explained what we needed to do, helped us pick out the right paving stones, the flagpole, and as I said, he was here at the last minute finishing this up, so that's worth a lot. Thank you to Rivard Stone for working with us to get the stones engraved, especially the last few days as we made corrections and additions. There is no eraser for these things, and there's no whiteout, so, and we have a few more. We have a special thank you for our friend Gary Bauermeister for his help and expertise in getting the electrical set up and these lights. So now you have to wait till dark and come by and see what it looks like at about 10 o'clock. But it's worth it. And our biggest thanks is to our East Immanuel congregation and friends who helped in so many ways to make this happen. We just can't do these things alone. We've had so much support, extra help, work. We just can't express our thanks enough, and that's why we're able to share this space with all of you. I think at this time, Commander of the VFW, Dave, has a few more remarks.
Thank you, Eric. As Eric mentioned, I mean, when you look at Eric, Bob, and Jim, you know, they spearheaded this program, but it's without the community's support and the church support, that's what made this really happen. And I couldn't be more proud. Our honor guard couldn't be more proud and more happy to be here to support this event. And it really humbles us a lot that such a small community can come together and create such a beautiful space. So I just wanted to thank you for that. And to affirm our loyalty and allegiance to our great nation. Sorry, I'm having some technical difficulties here. And reflect and share commitment to our ideals of liberty, justice, and unity. Please join me. Rise and we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance together. And salute arms. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Odette, on. Thank you for attending today's ceremony. Go in peace. God bless you all, and God bless the United States of America.
So just a few things to wrap up. On the back of your programs, there's some QR codes. So when you have questions about things, use that. One of them brings you to the East Immanuel Cemetery database. That's maintained by Jim. It's searchable by name, by date, by, use it to find somebody that you lost out here, because it helps. Another link is a Vanco QR code for online giving. And there's another link for Find a Grave, which is a wonderful utility to be able to go, even in cemeteries you're far away from, and there will be a picture of that stone you can look at and see what things look like. The other reason I mentioned that it was 3 of us guys is because we get a lot of suggestions about what we should have included in here, but no, we're not. You gonna plant anything out there? Does it require pruning and watering? Yeah? No, we're not. I'll stop at that because I might get in trouble. If the rest had been left up to the 3 of us, this would be the end. Fortunately for you, there were others who had a different idea, and so you're now invited for some coffee and treats up the hill in the outdoor chapel. And I thank you again for being here. Thank you.